Hello everyone, Storm 101 here. Today we'll be talking about multiple systems. One of those systems could bring possibility for blizzard conditions that could happen across portions of the upper Midwest. Here, there could be a decent amount of upper level snow that could happen across some of these regions right in here. That could bring in some snowfall accumulations here as well. We're also going to be tracking a system up across the northeast here that could bring the possibility for some snow across some of these regions right in here. And this could become a nor'easter. It seems to be a possibility at this point. Then we'll be watching a possibility for another system, which are just some high uncertainties here. Across, generally speaking, these regions right here will be an area to watch. Right in there. There's some high uncertainties with this system here, but we'll be talking about it anyways. But let's go to get started, going kind of in order here. So we'll start off with the blizzard potential for the upper Midwest. So this is the GFS model, and this is going to be happening really beginning around Thursday, and that's when that cold front comes through. But then eventually you'll see a low pressure system develop somewhere around Wisconsin. And we have these close isobars here that's just an indication for some strong winds, possibly at the surface here. And within the snow here, there's a chance you can see perhaps some near blizzard conditions, which models have been trending further south with this low here, which is something quite interesting because last night the agreement was like up in Canada. Now it's down around Lake Michigan, and there's some other models further south of this here. So this would actually be a region to watch here for the possibility for some accumulating snow across those regions there as well. And you can see here at one point it's at 987 millibars, and then you start to see possibility for some near blizzard conditions across portions of the Midwest there as well. But we're going to see about that there. I mean, we had a system or a setup somewhere like this before with the low pressure system across the upper Midwest, which actually did bring some blizzard conditions up there. We did have blizzard warnings in effect for a good chunk of those regions up there as well. And that happened back at Christmas time there. So this is a pretty similar setup to that. And then later down the road, you can see here we got two things going on at once. You got one, the nor'easter potential, which the GFS shows a pretty decently strong system, 986 millibars. Not looking to be a big snowmaker at this point. You can see you're spinning out some moderate to heavy snow, but models so far have been trending towards not really a big snowmaker, which I'll probably call this like a wet nor'easter, just because, it's not really bringing much in the way of snow. But then, if you go across so these regions right here, this is upper level snow. Your low is going to be somewhere up here in the upper parts of the atmosphere. And with very cold temperatures at 850 millibars, plus you add on top of it to some vorticity, and also the precipitable water in the atmosphere. If you can get a decent amount of those together, you could get some widespread snows and possibility for some snow squalls. You could see anywhere from possibly a coating to possibly a couple inches of snow out of this here. So that'd be another area to watch there as well, around the Ohio Valley, the Tennessee Valley, even back across portions of the Midwest there as well. Let's not get too far there. So let's look into the Canadian model. You can see here, your low is pretty much in the same spot like the GFS. It's over Lake Michigan here. You got a pretty strong cold front right here. You got quite a bit of snow on the backside of that cold front there as well. And then when you get up to the upper Midwest, you can see here we got a pretty strong low at this point. And with those close isobars within a little bit of snow, you could possibly see the potential for some blizzard conditions. So we're going to see about this here. Generally, this region right here will be the area to pay attention to for possibly for some blizzard conditions. Maybe not that big of an area, but we're going to see about that. And then later down the road, got your upper level low snows, which these here can bring surprises there as well. You can see here some scattered snow showers here, but when we get to the high risk models, you'll be able to indicate a little bit better with some of those snow showers there as well. Meanwhile, up across the northeast could be a nor'easter here. It's a weaker system than what the GFS had at 997 millibar low. But just again, not a lot of snow. If there's going to be heavy snow, it's not going to be a large band. It's not going to be widespread. So snowfall amounts, it won't be widespread, but there could be some decently high snowfall amounts of that system. But we're going to see about that. And yeah, when you get to this point here, could be some very heavy snow across portions of New Hampshire and Vermont, maybe Massachusetts and New York State there as well. But again, that'd be something we'll be paying attention to there closely. This is the icon model. This is a fresh run. This is 12Z, so it's still updating. I don't think it's going to be able to get to the other system, but it's able to go for the first system. But so far, it's been further north with this, and also showing that could be a little bit more likely blizzard conditions on the backside here, especially when you have those isobars very close to each other. You also got light to at times moderate snow behind this. It's also showing a stronger low. It's also further to the northwest. Now, this is not really a great model to use for some of these type of setups and stuff like that. It's not really a great model, but that could be a solution that could happen. That's what the models had it before, anyways. There, so we'll be paying attention to that as we kind of continue on. That blizzard threat may expand further south, which it hasn't possibly get into portions of Iowa, maybe even into portions of Nebraska, but we're going to see about that. Still got some uncertainties here, but you can see here your low does move to the southeast. And then as we get later down the road, up across the northeast, and then you got numerous snow showers going on across portions of the Ohio Valley there. And meanwhile, up across the northeast, you got a nor'easter going on, bringing some heavy snow, especially on those higher elevations there. Could see quite a bit of snow, and that's a lot of moisture can pump into the low pressure system there as well. So a lot of moisture to deal with, but not a whole lot of cold air to work with. So it's really good to depend on with that cold air. You can see by the icon model, it shows pretty healthy swath of heavy snow across the Maine. So we're going to see what's going to happen there. But that's the icon model, and then later down the road, as we get around Martin Luther King Day, this will be the next one to watch here. And I'm also going back and forth, but we'll be talking about that in a little bit. So this is the European model. So here comes your first system here, which is a little bit similar to the icon model. You got your low over the Minnesota and Wisconsin state line. Possibility for some near blizzard conditions on the backside of this low. And as we continue on, you can see here your nor'easter starts to kind of go off here. But again, not a whole lot of snow to work with here. Or I should say, there's not going to be a lot of cold air around. So it's not really going to be a widespread winter storm event. It's probably going to be a pretty small winter storm event. Not for so much in a way for area wise. It's not going to be widespread or anything like that. It's just generally not looking to be a big snowmaker there at this point. Meanwhile, across around the Ohio Valley, you got scattered to at times numerous snow showers that can be heavy at times. There as well with that upper level snow. Now this is the highest Canadian. This has been consistent so far with this system here. So your low is actually way up here in Canada here. And as we continue on, your new low develops actually in Illinois. This model has done a pretty good job so far this winter, and I don't know if I'm going to buy this or not, but this is kind of a little bit different than what some of the other models show. This actually shows possibly a moderate to heavy a band of snow that could happen anywhere from Missouri through eastern Iowa, western Illinois, eventually getting into Wisconsin. And then again, this may become an outlier, but we'll see about that. I mean, you can see here, it does still show some possibility for some near blizzard conditions on the backside of this low here. especially across Minnesota. So really the bullseye at this point is really going to be Minnesota here. That could possibly see some near blizzard conditions there. And that being said, we'll be paying attention to. And here's your cold front way out here. And that's about as far out as it can go with that. And, we could look to the NAM really quick. It's actually very far to the north with the first low. It's all the way up here, probably way too far to the north. But then it shows you a new low developing further north up across eastern Wisconsin. But you can also see here there's a band of moderate to heavy snow, especially behind this cold front here. It could put down a decent amount of snow in a short period of time. So be watching for that. And then here comes your upper level snow, which is about as far out as it could go. You see at times possibility for moderate to heavy snow showers. There's indicated by the NAM there as well, even back across portions of Missouri there as well, and also the possibility for some near blizzard conditions on the backside of that system there as well. Now, snowfall accumulations is still a question from all these events. It's a little bit early to look into, but what I could say about this upper level snow event, however, there could be the possibility that some areas could see anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of snow. There could be some isolated higher amounts there, but we are going to see about that. I may release a snowfall forecast. I might, I may not, but we'll see about that. For right now, it's a little bit far out, to have a snowfall forecast for some of these systems here. But we can look into some of these snowfall maps from some of these models here. See what they're spitting out. So this is the NAM. You can see they're likely well overdone. It's showing snowfall amounts as high as 17 inches. Pretty much widespread of 10 inches plus across most of Wisconsin. I don't think that's going to happen. It's kind of an outlier there. If we look into the high-risk Canadian, you can see it shows something a little bit similar to the, to the NAM, 8 to 9 inches of snow. So this will be another area to watch. This is kind of a battle between, high resolution models and medium range guidance here. Definitely something interesting there. Seems like the NAM is on board with what the Canadian has been saying for the past couple of runs here with a low developing, probably somewhere around Lake Michigan there. If we look into the European model, which will be able to go through most of these events. And as you can see here, could be a pretty good winter storm on that back side there. You can see here widespread bouts, really generally 8 to 10 inches of snow across most of Minnesota, and eventually getting into Wisconsin. So this could possibly become a pretty good blizzard for some of these regions here. For like Minnesota, portions of Wisconsin, maybe even portions of Dakotas, and maybe even possibly for portions of Iowa. So this will be definitely something to watch. And if we look into the icon model, you can see here it does show an area of possibly 10 inches of snow across the eastern Dakotas and western Minnesota. So this is definitely something we'll be watching here. I think the icon model may be a little bit of an outlier. European model is a little bit further to the northwest with this, but the European model is kind of in between with the models, but we'll see on the next run. But so far, the Canadian model's been, the best model throughout this winter, and it's showing something like this. It's also been consistent with this as well, so it's going to be hard to tell which one to choose here, and we're going to see about this here. Again, it's a little bit early for a snowfall forecast for that system there. Now, this is in a 10 to 1 ratio, by the way, and this is the Canadian. Show us what the high risk Canadian is showing. You can see a pretty good swath of 3 to 5 inches of snow across anywhere from central Missouri through good chunk of Illinois and up into Wisconsin. So again, there's a battle of quite a bit of snow across these regions, and there's also a battle right in here, as like we've seen so far. There, and this is going to be the GFS with this. Again, this is a 10 to 1 ratio. It has some of the higher amounts up across Wisconsin here, with generally speaking 8 to possibly 10 inches of snow over a good chunk of Wisconsin. So again, still have high uncertainties here with that storm system, but we'll see what would happen. You know, if we could get a better agreement. If we get a better agreement, I may release a snowfall forecast. But right now, it's not a good time because we don't have an agreement with the models right now. So, but this is that we'll be monitoring very closely. So let's talk about the system coming up around Martin Luther King Day. So some people have been talking about this here, and GFS model showing not much of anything, but I'm also been really back and forth where some of them show, a pretty good low pressure system brings in a pretty good swath of snow on the northern edge of this. And there's some other runs that show something like this. It just doesn't really develop. It also stays as a very low track here and doesn't produce as much snow, later down the road and it goes out to sea. That's some of the uncertainties we have with this system for right now. But if we look into some other runs, some past runs, so this is the previous run around the same time, you can see it's completely different. You got widespread light snow on the northern edge of the system. It's still weak, but you still got a pretty good swath of snow on the north side. Then if you like to run at before that, you can see pretty much like nothing. Before that, pretty much nothing. And as we kind of continue back, it seems like it's been trending, a little bit slower. But you can see here with some of its past runs, it has been trending a weaker system. But we're going to see about this here. We'll see about it. But, so yeah, on that. And let's look into the Canadian model with this. And its thoughts on it, not really developing at all. I mean, not really developing. It actually develops way out here. I think this is a pretty big outlier here. I think at this point here, we'll have a low pressure system probably develop somewhere out here and has a pretty severe track low here. Now, this could trend to the northwest here. We've seen that's been kind of common so far this winter where models trend to the northwest in some time in the 1 to 3 day period. So generally speaking, these areas here will be the areas to watch here for any snow here. And if we, in the GFS ensembles with all 21 members together, it does show widespread, light snow across some of these regions here. So this will be something we have to pay attention to here. But we do expect models to, to keep on going back and forth. That's pretty common with some of these models, what they do here. We'll see if the icon model does go out far out enough, and it seems like it does, and you can see here, it doesn't really develop it too much into a system, although it does show some light snow going on across the Lower Ohio Valley and also for the Tennessee Valley there as well. But we'll still be watching this system here closely. Again, I'm also just really big going back and forth here. Like I said, some models show a pretty good swath of snow, some models just show not a lot of snow at all. But again, this is stuff we'll be watching closely around Martin Luther King Day. But anyways, guys, this is ArcVidGuys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like this video, hit the like button. If you're really like my channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, you can put a comment section down below. I'll answer you guys questions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.